I'll do the intro and then you intro our guest, Max.
That sounds
Does that
good.
work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, cool. Hello and welcome to a beautiful episode of Throwing Drinks with Jen and Maggie. I'm the Jen half.
And I'm Maggie. I did the inflection wrong.
And you did say I'm the Maggie half.
I'm the Maggie half. Trying something new.
Anyway, we've only been doing this for a couple of months. It's fine. And we are doing our special guest episodes on every Friday. We bring a friend of the pod of ourselves on, and we go through a classic episode. And we've got a hell of an episode and a hell of a guest, Maggie. Who we got today, and what are we doing?
We've got an old friend of mine who is also a media expert, a headline sensation, gorgeous, lashes for days. It's the brilliant ex-Bachelorette, Georgia Love.
Hello.
Yay!
I just want to say, I feel like on your other episodes you say, and whenever we've got a guest, we bring on one of our favourite funny people, and you just said one of our friends this time, so offensive.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll be honest. This is our first conversation we've ever had, Georgia. I met you very drunkenly at Maggie's wedding, but I'd rather not remember what I was up to.
Better or worse than that you refer to me as a friend rather than a funny person when you don't remember ever meeting me in your life.
She's a funny girl.
She's a funny girl.
She's a funny girl.
She's a friend and a funny girl, and we're so happy you're here. I'm sorry. I fucked it up already. Oh my god.
Don't. No, I fucked it up yesterday. I actually gave Georgia the wrong episode to watch, the one we're covering. So the poor thing sat through a good hour of nonsensical bullshit from 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I was wondering why, because you'd said to me there's an episode I want you to watch because it'll be good having you as like a journalist to talk about this. And then the episode was just about someone finding their birth father. And I was like, okay. And then even better was it was about 9 p.m. when you messaged and said, oh, shit, I sent you the wrong episode. And I'm doing breakfast radio this week. So I had to wake up at 3:30 this morning. But that's fine. I was so happy to stay up and watch another episode.
So we've made you do extra work. We've already dissed you for not being funny when you are, in fact, probably the funniest.
Yeah.
And
people are going to be very disappointed.
but we're so appreciative of you being here. Maggie, can you tell us exactly what we're looking at today?
Well, today we're going back in time. We're opening the Housewives vault right back to 2009 to the one and only season that was Real Housewives of DC. Such a sensation that pretty much Bravo got banned from filming within the perimeter of DC. And the episode where we asked Georgia second time round to watch is based on two characters who decided they were going to crash the White House state dinner Obama had with India, creating a sensation across the world, international headlines on the BBC, CNN, New York Times. Who are these crashers? And we thought it would be perfect to get Georgia on because you do have that journalist background and you do have a reality TV background. So what a combination. You do, don't you?
Yeah.
You have a reality.
I do. I was going to say, do you have a journalist background? I was like, Maggie, I'm going to kill you. I've known you my whole life.
Have you watched much Housewives before,
No,
Georgia?
I haven't. It's really, I love Melbourne, obviously, because Gina is my queen. But that's the only one I've ever watched. I feel like I know I would get addicted, so I haven't let myself start because there's enough dumb shit already in my brain. And I'm really nervous about how much worse I and it will get if I really delve in. So now you've made me watch 2 episodes. I will be sending you the books.
You got the free trial, didn't you?
No, I mean the bills for my psychologist after this.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go. No.
Yeah.
So give us your first impression of what you thought of the episode. Did you know about this incident, G? Do you remember this happening, or was this a big refresh? What's your thoughts?
I remember it happening, but I didn't know at the time that it was Real Housewives characters, for want of a better term. I remember that there were 2 tryhards that did crash a party, and there was massive security breaches because it's so embarrassing. I remember that. I had no idea they were Housewives people, which just makes it so much better. So much better.
Yeah.
Also, my first impression was from the episode 8, which is the one that you made me watch first, the producers 100% knew. Like, this was a stitch up in the extreme, which is maybe my favorite part of it. I hate it because I've been on reality TV and terrifies me how much influence producers can have. But also, I found it very funny because it was just the ultimate stitch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you walk us through which bit you thought was a stitch up? What was the red flag from someone who's been on reality TV? What was the first thing that you went, oh, hang on a second, production's in on this?
So the first thing that I noticed in the episode was when she was getting her hair done for the state dinner, the hairdresser said, oh, so you've been invited. Obviously, that's a normal question. And then she said, so did you get like a physical invite? And she said, yeah, I did. And then the hairdresser said, can you go to your car and get it for me? I'd really like to see it. Now, a hairdresser wouldn't ask that. A hairdresser would not ask. I don't think anyone would ask that. That's bizarre. A hairdresser wouldn't. So immediately I'm going, well, the producer said to the hairdresser, ask her to see the invite. And then when it was incredibly clear was when they were actually walking into the party and the cameras kept doing the really like kind of Succession style zoom right in on the signs that said security checkpoint, no one allowed past this point. They fucking knew.
I feel like Bravo didn't think they'd go that far. I feel like potentially the producers thought they're going to get knocked back. This would be great TV.
100%.
We'll stop. But the fact they got in
And
is wild.
I think they then didn't know what to do about it. As in Bravo didn't know what to do about it then. Because then from that moment it became less funny and became okay, we're going to also string them up now as well.
Yeah.
What was the fallout for Bravo? Just quietly.
They were never allowed to shoot in DC ever again. I think they just couldn't get shooting permits anymore.
Yeah, I think they've just been
Bravo,
banned.
that's pretty big, I guess, but it's not really that big.
Well, they've got what they did is they've got a series called Potomac, which is just the area just outside of DC, and that focus on like quite a successful career, usually Black women, just outside of DC, but they immediately gave up. I mean, like I don't think they got even shooting permits to do anything outside because if you see for the rest of the episode, it's all just them in a living room of someone's private home.
Yeah, true. Also, when I talk about my brain being full of useless shit, I know Potomac, the place and the word, because I know every single lyric to the musical Hamilton and they say it in one point and I'd never heard of it, so I looked it up. This is why I don't have space for all the seasons of Housewives. Just finally.
Oh my God, we needed you. I was at karaoke on Saturday night and someone selected a Hamilton track and I felt so bad for this person because no one in the room knew Hamilton except him. And he was like, he thought it was going to unite the room and he just got left hanging.
So Jen, it turns
out brutal.
We have met each other twice because it was me.
So Georgia, how many times do you reckon you've seen Hamilton? Because I know you and your beautiful sister Katie are big fans, and every time I seem to open Instagram, there's a story about Hamilton or someone's been to Hamilton or someone's going to Hamilton. So what are we clocking up between the two of you, let's say?
I really love the thought that you open up Google and there's a story about Katie loves going to Hamilton. I've seen it in person 7 times. I think my sister's seen it 9. And then it's on Disney Plus, so it's quite literally countless. It's real. Did anyone have 4 minutes until I made myself sound like an absolute loser? There we are.
No, this is the podcast for it. I tell you what.
Yeah.
That's all right. Don't worry.
That's cool.
The last podcast I talked about 20 minutes about a documentary I watched that's 20 years old. So don't worry. This
I got very emotional about my dog at the beginning of the last episode.
Yeah.
For no reason other than she sneezed.
Don't bring pets into this. We're never going back to Housewives.
No. Well, so that's good. So you know Potomac, and you. I just think,
so you know Potomac.
You don't know Potomac.
Oh, she knows Potomac.
I do think, like, I would love to hear your opinion on you watched the congressional hearing. That you've probably got a bit more insight into what, I mean, we see them on TV all the time, what a congressional hearing actually is. Because recently they did the ones on the aliens Like, what is it in the American political system what is a congressional hearing?
There's not really anything comparable here, but it's essentially when you get subpoenaed. It's like in Australia when you get subpoenaed to a court hearing. It'd be most likely a coroner's court. It's the kind of similar-ish rules to that, where you get subpoenaed and you have to go and give evidence, but it doesn't mean that it's criminal charges would have to be laid based on that. The difference is in Australia, you don't get to just say nothing. If you're subpoenaed, you have to give evidence. And that's what blows my mind about the American justice system is bizarre. It's kind of borderline whether it's justice or politics. But it just blows my mind that they were able to sit there and that literally gave no answers to anything. Like there was that point where the congressman was saying, okay, well, let's not talk about the incident. Are you wearing a suit today? And he said, I'm going to use my Fifth Amendment right, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Crazy.
just, I mean, America, right?
Yeah. I was wondering, I mean, Maggie mentioned before, like, you were the Bachelorette. And you've probably seen absolutely delulu people similar to this couple on Washington. Do you think that they realize how they're coming across at any point? Or do you think that some people are just like, they will never ever have any kind of self-awareness about it?
Yes to both, actually. I think they definitely had no self-awareness. They just didn't realize they'd get in trouble in the first place. Then they didn't realize they'd come across even worse if they just didn't say anything. But I think a massive part of it is that this was in 2009, and that wasn't very, like, there wasn't a heap of reality TV around then. Nowadays, people are super aware of what reality TV is, what it can get you. Like, the people that go on a lot of reality TV shows now, they know exactly what they're doing. They know if they create a stir or cause drama, even if they come across like an absolute see you next Tuesday, it will help them in the long run in some way, whether they want Instagram followers or they want to go on another reality TV show or, become a model or something. The more crazy shit they do, the more airtime they're going to get, which will benefit them, is how people see it. That's obviously not always the case. So back then, I don't think that was really how it was seen, or even if it was a bit more in America, not to the extent it is now. Like 2009 is when people even only started getting Instagram and stuff. Like there was not that influencer world and stuff like there is now. So I think there was a little less knowledge not knowledge, but like forethought about how will I come across and how will this help my career. I think everyone just thought, I'll get invited to cool stuff. People will know my name. You don't go on Real Housewives to just, to have an experience and go on TV. Like you
want to sell that
because you love TV.
Yeah, you got to make the coin. We've talked quite a lot about, like, there's a character at the moment in Real Housewives of New York called Jessel, and she's absolutely winning head and tails above the rest, in our opinion, because she has a naivety about her, about the situation. I wouldn't say delusion. She's just not quite there. And so
she's out of her depth a bit.
Yeah.
Like
and so it's great TV. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
envious.
She's learning the rules as she goes.
I'm envious of people who are blissfully ignorant. I mean, the word blissful is in it, right? They're just so happy, just like going about life, not like with. I'm thinking in my head what I wanted to say. But every sentence I was about to say made me realize, oh no, that's just anxiety. That's.
So, G, when you were on the show, going back, like, we're just looking into the reality side of this chat. When you're saying that you were talking about people who had purpose to be on the show, was it clear to you, the guys coming onto The Bachelorette, that had purpose that wasn't you?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that's just, I think, me being a human with a head on my shoulders. You could say that there were 18 guys. They're not all going to like me, even once they met me. But there's also not 18 guys who are willing to go on TV only for the purpose of potentially getting a girlfriend out of it. I think for me, the most obvious one was probably the one who didn't tell me until like the final 5 that actually, even though I said I work in this children's charity, which I do, that's for free. And actually, my job is a TV presenter.
Oh,
Yeah,
gross.
probably a bit of a giveaway.
Icky.
Oh, and the guy who said, I'm so glad we've finally got some time to chat one-on-one, because I've always been really interested in working in TV, and I know you do that, so I'd really like some tips.
Oh no, you're already on TV, mate. What's wrong with you?
So good.
And looking at like when you're talking about the producers, right? And like this is coming from an ignorant spot because I've never worked reality TV, so I'm really interested in this. I've been told like producers, they set up the situation. You produce the situation, but not what happens in it. Is that correct? So you produce where you are, what you're doing, and what goes on, and then you sit and is it what's your thoughts on that? Is that your experience with TV?
Yeah, that was definitely my experience. I mean, I can only talk for mine, which sounds like a cop out, but I do feel like there are even other seasons I've watched, I can kind of see that things have gone differently. Like with the hairdresser asking for the invitation, you can tell when someone's been told to ask something. But yeah, certainly my experience of it was exactly what you said. They set up the date and they put you both there, and they might have spoken to you beforehand about, do you feel like you're kind of friend zoning this guy? Like, do you feel like he's friend zoning you? So then that's in your head when you go in. But like, there's no earpieces. They're not cutting into a date or anything like that. It is just kind of sit back and watch what happens. There's certainly no interjection when, things are actually on camera. But like I said, I've watched others before where out of absolutely nowhere. So 2 girls on The Bachelor might have been having a conversation about how, Jessica and Stephanie really don't like what Elizabeth was wearing yesterday. Now, Elizabeth doesn't know about this for any purpose whatsoever. And then out of nowhere, 20 minutes later, Elizabeth will go, so someone told me that you didn't like what I was wearing. Like, that was obviously a producer,
That's a producer.
There's really obvious.
When it's someone. Yeah. Yeah, I do notice that, isn't it? It's like, I heard from, I can't tell you my source.
Even more
and it's
so
like, yeah,
when
it's
not
because
things even happen on the show, but someone will just randomly come out and go, so anyway, random question, but like, do any of you still have boyfriends outside of here? And like, there's obviously been one girl who's told a producer that she does.
Yeah, exactly. No, and it's interesting with Bravo, and I don't think there's much with Australian TV, but recently there was an incident on Below Deck. I don't know if you saw, Georgia, the Below Deck Down Under, where there was a guy who had crossed the line, getting into bed naked with a passed out girl, and the producers broke the fourth wall, and they very much were characters in the situation of redeeming themselves. And also in like Beverly Hills, and producers are now becoming, and as well a lot in Atlanta, kind of part of the scripting as well. So it's almost like I feel like those shows have accepted the fact we're not going to deny there's people behind the scenes these days.
Yeah, we know it's a show.
Yeah. And but it doesn't feel like that's happened in Australian television as much.
Not as much.
I feel like that could be something good.
Yeah, it does happen a little. Like, I mean, I sound like such a nerd, but Bachelor and Bachelorette are the only real ones that I watch, and that's because I'm actually a Batchy fan, which is really sad. But that does happen a bit more now, I've noticed, where even like it started with just you'd hear the producer's question off camera. And that used to be a thing that wouldn't even do that. Like, they'd pretend that there's no one around. And then there've been a couple of like, girls storming out of a cocktail party. And then you see the producer going after them, and like you kind of in the bushes, you hear their little chats and stuff. Happens a little bit. But I do think that adds another layer of drama that's good. I think they're better off doing that. Because like you say, everyone knows there are producers and cameras there. So I actually think it's more dramatic and a bit more fun as a viewer to see that. Also, the formula is the same all the time, so that breaks it up a bit too, right?
Yeah, and it also makes the viewer feel like it's implying that the production's gone too far, therefore production needs to step in, which is that layer of drama that you can't get when it's just solely the people there.
And then it's also them
so
like
true, 'cause you
love themselves, being like, oh, guys, we're not the bad ones. Look, we're stepping in to help and be helpful.
Yeah.
When they're the ones that probably
And also, who doesn't love a storm out? Like, who doesn't love a storm out? It's always going to be in the clip. It's always going to be in the trailer. It's always going to be like, and sure, maybe these people are being driven crazy by the environment they're in and the people in their ear, but like with some distance on it now, and like you were saying, you watch like Batchy and Bachelorette, do you feel like you were misrepresented or anything? Like, do you feel good about your experience or happy that you went through it?
Yeah, I loved it. I married the guy, so I can't complain about it too much. I shouldn't, because he might listen to this.
He's a good bloke.
All
He's
right,
great.
isn't he?
He's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the whole experience. I really did. I mean, I just feel like the people that go on these shows, knowing exactly what they're going on to, and come out the other end and say I was edited badly or was represented badly, like, they can't literally edit words into your mouth. So don't say things, or just like, if you're a bad person, you might come across as a bad person. But for me, like, it was fun. What did I have to complain about? 3 months of my life where I didn't have to organize anything for myself. I got to wake up every day and get my hair and makeup done, and got to go and do cool activities with hot men who were fawning over me because I was literally the only female they had seen in 3 months. It was fantastic.
Yeah, look, that sounds great. Sign me up.
And like, there's little
Doesn't sound
things
too
I look
bad.
back where I'm kind of like, okay, I can probably see what they were doing there. There's one in particular, like, there was one guy I kept around because he was just fun. Like, I wasn't interested in him at all, but he was fun to have around, so I just didn't get rid of him. And then there was like a really romantic date that I'd wanted to take Lee on, who's my now husband. And the producers said to me, oh, Lee's already had a date, and this other guy, I won't say who it is because I don't want to have another Daily Mail headline. But
no, please, we need it. Go. You got to share, Georgia.
They said, this guy's kind of been around a while and you haven't really spoken to him. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. And they were like, look, totally up to you, but if you start taking people on second dates, that, like, you know, kind of might just look a bit mean to him. And I'm like, yeah, okay, good point. He's a bit of fun. I'll take him on the date. And then the date was really good and he stayed around. So I kind of look at that and I'm like, oh, I think I see what they were doing there. They knew I'd like him, so they wanted me to do that. But that's not like, I don't know. That's kind of,
that's not super manipulation.
Oh, no,
it doesn't feel sinister.
It just like gave me another hot man to make out with that I hadn't yet.
So, but you know, like, there's been that thing on that show, and like, I only watched your season, Georgia, but where the guy didn't choose anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, the honey badger season.
Yeah. And how producer driven do you think that decision was? Like, was that him sitting at home going, I'm just, and he would have announced it to them, or would they have been like, well, if you don't like anyone, it's going to be great headlines, just don't pick anyone? I
don't think they would have said it's going to be great headlines. I think that they're smarter than that, and I don't think he's someone who would have liked that. Like, I actually don't really think he knew what he was getting into. I think he was told, hey, we're going to line up 25 hot girls for you to go on dates with. Do you want to do the show? It'll help your profile a bit. And I think he's gone, that sounds sick. And I don't know if he really understood what the premise of the show was. I don't think it was I've got the integrity that if I choose someone, it's who I'm going to marry, and I don't want to marry anyone, so I'm not going to choose anyone. I think he maybe just got like a bit overwhelmed with the whole thing and thought, I don't want to, neither of these people or any of these people are who I want to end up with for the rest of my life, and this is too much, so I'm just going to say no, thank you. I find it odd that he didn't choose someone and then just try dating them and then break up later if it wasn't working. But that's coming from the place of me going on that show thinking I'm going to like have a boyfriend at the end of this. So if he didn't go in feeling like he was going to leave with someone, then I don't know, maybe I put more thought into it than him. But I just feel like, because you also don't get the opportunity to sleep with anyone until it's finished. Like, you're never alone one-on-one with them. I just kind of even feel like that after 3 or 4 months of filming, like, pick someone and at least get a shag, and then see how it goes after.
Open it up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
you know,
I had less thought about people I've rooted.
Correct. Maybe kudos to him. Maybe he's not a shag, and I was trying to think of something funny to say. There's nothing I can think that runs with shag.
No.
Shag and drag. No,
He's not a honey shagger. He's a honey badger.
Oh, man, that was easy. I should have seen that one.
That's not, I mean, there's a sweaty work. It was some sweaty work on that one. But I mean, we'll get back into the house,
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's
but
right.
I mean, I just would love to talk to you. No, because I was wondering about that as well, because my impression of Bachelor Bachelorette is that it seems like you're in a scientifically developed environment to fall in love. Like, was there any part of this where you're like, this is like, I've never felt this way, but like, because you see these people say these things, and I wonder, like, in that moment, does that ring true for you, or was it something that you felt compelled to say? Like,
No, I don't think you feel compelled to. So, like, they at no point did they pressure me to say anything or ask if I was ready to say it at all. I'll definitely
mm,
say that. I think that one main thing that people don't realize is how much time you actually spend with them. Like, the dates shown are like 20 minutes, but they're kind of anywhere between 10 and 16 hours. Like, it's a full
wow.
day with them. And then on the group dates and the coach parties, like, you're hanging out with everyone a lot. And then the main thing,
So it's every date is an entire
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They're
Wow.
huge days, huge days. But like I say, I mean, it's not like huge days at work. You're just hanging out doing fun things. And it's
Mm.
good
Mm.
because you might go on a date with someone and then literally not see that person for another 6 days until you're then seeing them in an environment with all their mates around. So, like, it's good that you get a
Yeah.
lot of time when it's one-on-one on the single dates. But the other thing is you're cut off from literally the rest of your world. You don't have your computer, you don't have your phone, you're not watching TV. It is an environment where you quite literally only see the people on the show. So
Mm.
you're only thinking about that all the time. Like, say you go on a date at home, even say
Mm.
it's an 8 hour date and it's been amazing, and then you go home and you tell your housemate about it, and you watch the Housewives while you're falling asleep, and then you go to work the next day, and you hope you get a text, and you might be in the back of your mind a little bit, but there's other things happening in your life. This is like a 10-hour date. You go home and you lie in your bed and you don't even have a phone to kind of play on. So you're just thinking about that. And then you wake up the next day and your role for the day is to decide who you want to date the next time. And like, literally all you are thinking about that whole time is these guys. And then
Wow.
for them, it's even more so because they're not thinking about which one do I like the best. They're just like, I'm really bored in this mansion. I hope I get to see that girl again. And that's
Yeah.
what really kind of messed me up afterwards. Is that I got this, like, when we kind of went out into the real world. I'm missing so many reality TV wanky things. I won't say Journey though, I promise. But when we entered,
We say journey. We're on
yeah,
wellness journeys. That's so it's
Yeah, we're
fine.
on
I
wellness
will
journeys at the
never.
Yeah.
moment.
I'm happy for you, but I will not be saying it. Yeah, so when we entered the real world again, I got this, like, really bad anxiety around the fact that, oh, maybe Lee doesn't actually like me. Maybe he thought he did because, like, I never thought that he was lying, but I thought, well, now he's back out in the real world with his friends, and like, was it just a weird headspace that he was kind of so focused on me that he thought he wanted to be with me, but now we're out, he won't. Um,
Mm.
anyway, if it was that, he's a very good liar, because 7.5 years is a long time to keep up that.
Yeah. That's a long
But
con.
yeah,
Very
That's a
long con, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
kudos to him,
Yeah.
honestly. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. But there is that part of it that kind of plays in you, like, oh, maybe maybe that goes to show why so many, like, we're the only couple from Bachelorette Australia that is still together at all, let alone married. And I do wonder if
Wow.
that's kind of a part of it. Like,
You're taken out of that world
yeah,
into the real world, and it doesn't work in the real world, but it would have worked in that weird circumstance,
yeah.
that
And
pressure
I
cooker
think that something
situation.
interesting, and this is really like kind of gender stereotyping, so I will preface it with that, but it seems to be that when there's a lot of guys competing for one girl versus the other way around, they get to the end, and in the real world, it's kind of like, oh wait, there's lots of other people out there that I find more interesting.
Mm.
They're the ones that don't work as much, because there's heaps of bachelor couples that are married and still together, but there's only us from Bachelorette. So that's interesting. And Lee's one of the oldest
Yeah.
contestants that's ever
Yeah.
been on the Bachelorette too. So even that in itself is interesting. I think a lot of
How
guys.
old was Lee when he was on?
He was 35 and I was 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's more about young guys than you reckon, group of guys not 100% ready to commit but wanting to go on a show versus one guy who's solemnly wanting to commit, and a whole lot of women who potentially are more in that headspace, you think?
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's about like going in a different headspace, but I feel like there's a difference for guys coming off the Bachelorette, getting invited to the birdcage at the races and putting shirtless tattoo
Mm.
photos on Instagram and just getting a heap of pussy.
Mm.
And then girls who go on it being seen afterwards as a bit of a like, ugh, you're on the Bachelor. Like it's just our sort of
Or like
fucking
vapid or
patriarchy,
something.
isn't it? Yeah, exactly. So I think that more
Mm.
guys are more likely to go on for what they'll get out of it afterwards, and probably don't want to get to the end of it
Mm.
with a girlfriend because that closes off their options for their 5 minutes of fame afterwards.
I'm pretty sure I was at the end of the table at your wedding with a lot of bachelors, ex-bachelors.
No,
There.
there was
I
only
was surrounded by
one.
a lot of white teeth. I remember that one of them was there. A couple of the ones that didn't work out, I think, were around me, and I was trying to pick which ones. They took it like a man to be invited to the wedding as
One
well.
of them- I don't know
I
if you
thought that
remember
was
this.
brave.
So one of the guys from our season is like a very, very good friend of ours, and he's a 6'5" firefighter. I'm just saying that for the context of this gag. Our celebrant was a friend of mine whose favourite thing in the world is to make fun of me publicly. God love him. And so in the wedding, like in the ceremony, he goes, oh, usually at this part of the ceremony, I'd tell a story about how the couple met, but, we all know that story, ha, ha, ha. And he goes, no, but seriously, we all know they were a house and a mansion, 18 men, but one of them stood head and shoulders above the rest of them. A firefighter called Cam Cranley, and Cam stands up in the middle of our wedding ceremony, stands up and starts going, yep, thank you.
I
And
do remember
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
so
That
random.
was fun. Ben and I were like, can you spot them? Which ones are they? Which ones are they?
Yeah, the very beautiful.
Everyone was
That's
very
so
good looking.
sick.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, there was a lot of white teeth. We were picking the ones with white, and there was like some ex-footballer there that we got mixed up, and he's like, no, I'm just a footballer. We're like, I'm sorry, I thought you were the same thing. Yeah.
We're going to drop Millsy's name
All
now.
good-looking men with white teeth.
I think like the pressure cooker thing about reality TV is really interesting with like pastoral care and stuff, and I think but one of the best recent examples of it, and it wasn't Housewives, where I think it's actually affecting the Real Housewives of New York really negatively because it looks like they're supposed to be a whole lot of friends hanging out. They don't get on with each other. They're just not vibing.
Yeah.
But one of the recent really good ones, Jen, you recommended I watch it, and I'm just trying to think of the name of it. It's that English one where they all are killing each other at night.
Oh, The Traitors UK. Not really killing
my
each
God.
other.
Not really killing each other.
No, it's like the game Mafia. Have you ever played Mafia before?
Yeah.
Where
Like werewolf.
so you've got to figure out, werewolf. You've got to figure out who amongst you is the werewolf, and you've got to get to the werewolf before the werewolf kills you out of the game. Yeah. What were you saying about that and pastoral care though, Maggie?
No. So this was a segue because it's like I don't really latch on to other reality shows outside Housewives for some reason. This one got me. This is a great show. Basically, they put 20 average English people in a castle, and they tell 3 of them secretly that they're the murderers, but no one else. So 3 people know they're murderers. So the entire thing is accusations of who's killing who. Every night, someone is murdered in their sleep, which is just kicked off the show. And so the 3 people who are murderers are lying and betraying all their close friends the whole time to try and
trying
make
to
it to the
befriend
end.
people.
There's
and
alliances, and it's all within this like just this castle in England. But I have never seen breakdowns happen on a TV show like that because it must be such a pressure cooker that every single night you may be kicked out and you may lose, and they really ring the what are you going to do with the money?
Yeah.
Are you going to help? Like you're going to
There's
help
literally,
your mom.
I mean, this is a mild spoiler, but I will say it because it's in the first episode. One woman is accused of being a traitor, right? Because at the table, everyone goes to cheers and they all hold their cups up and they go cheers to like finding the traitor. And this one woman doesn't do it. And so next day at breakfast, everyone's like, I think she might be a traitor because she didn't cheers. And then she's like, I have one arm.
She's got one arm.
I can't.
But they keep
cheers."
accusing her because they're so fucked up in the head with what
And
they're
that's the
doing.
thing.
Oh my God.
And because
so
I think they're
funny.
just in this world they're just going like so hard at people for anything,
screaming at each other, just
having mental breakdown. I promise you, I'm not the traitor. I promise.
Yeah.
And then like it's so crazy. And I wonder if it is that detachment. Like I'm guessing similar conditions to what you were under, where no phone, no TV, no outside
Yep.
world. And it just becomes the stakes get so much
Yeah.
higher.
And there's money
And on
involved.
trying to link that to the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I
the
think it's like
producers,
£50,000 or something like that.
it works really well because during the day they have to work as a team to push the money up.
It
Right?
reminds me of that show, The Mole.
Kind of like The Mole.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have to push the money up, but at night they go against each other. So those traders could be the traders come in to help them because they want the money in the end. But then they all divide again. So they're so mind fucked.
It's also like
that they're doing, like you said. Yeah. These like 18-hour days probably shooting these like, it's fucking random shit they get them to do. Like, because there's no
in
theme
the
to the
Scottish
show.
countryside.
Yeah. And then just pitting them against each other. There was an incredible one where they find out the final traders by throwing, was it like sand into a
coloured
fire?
dust
Coloured
into
dust
a
to a
fire.
fire.
So if you throw this in, it means that you're not a traitor. And if it goes this colour, it means you are a traitor. And also if the traitor wins the prize pot, then they can take all of it, or they can elect to share the final prize pot between the last three.
Yeah.
So that's also the whole reason of like, you don't want a trader to win because they might just take the whole thing. Whereas if a group of non-traders win, then they'll split the prize pot.
Lord almighty,
I've
got like my heart rate is.
You gotta watch it
just from hearing about this.
It's not my cup of tea. Like I don't like those Survivor game shows or anything like it. And Jen's just like, you gotta watch it. It's absolutely. They do an Australian version, but it's not as mental.
Okay.
You got the English one is completely off the wall,
off chops,
and it's great from the very first moment. They're brutal to these contestants. So like they show up and something happens that's so unexpected. That means that everyone is on edge from the very start. And then they separate them every night and kill them every night. And then they all come back one by one into the breakfast room. There's this one which was like the most fucking psycho challenge I've ever seen on reality TV, where they all walk into this church and it's filled with extras with their back to them in morning suits, funeral
spooky
suits.
masks.
With spooky masks on it. And they have like there's like 150 people in this church sitting still with masks on, and they have to solve all these puzzles. And each person sitting there has like a prop with them, and they have to figure out which prop equals but they have to just go, oh, the Brits are like, you couldn't. I don't think you could take it to that level in Australia. I think that for some reason,
we're pretty like don't treat people like that, which is obviously a good thing, but it means TV is a bit more boring.
Well, it's the opposite with maths at the moment, isn't it? It's like the most highest rating thing ever.
Yeah, but that's not like the producers treating people badly. Do you know what I mean? Like even with Bachelor in the US, they like there's the most messed up situations. There was one season where, now I'm sorry if anyone's a mad fan and I'm getting the details slightly wrong. I think it was on a season of The Bachelor, and one of the girls on it, her husband had died in a car racing accident. Like he was a F1 or V8 driver or something, and he had died in a car racing accident. And then on her single date, they took them in a racing car. Like that is next level.
Oh my God.
No.
That's fucked up.
I saw a clip from the American Bachelorette, and it was the guy takes this girl out on a date to see a band play, but the band is her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, that's good. That's good producing. I like that. Yeah.
Oh my God. So then he's like, yeah, I set up this romantic concert just for us. And then it's literally her ex-boyfriend playing these romantic songs to them. It's so funny.
So good.
It's so messed up.
So that's so much
That's
more
great.
Oh my God.
Don't you reckon if we saw that happening to us an Australian, you wouldn't think that was funny? You'd be like, oh, that's really yucky and mean. Because I don't know. It's like we feel like it's literally closer to home. But when it's in America, we're like, they're all silly TV actors, even though they're not. Like that's a real person.
No, yeah, and it's a bigger audience as well. Recently on the finale on the reunion of Real Housewives of Atlanta, like the one character, Drew, was having trouble with her husband and they decided to divorce, but she was launching a new R&B single. So they brought her husband out and he sat and watched her perform it in front of like Andy and all the rest of the women, like this really intense song about leaving him. And Andy's in the background being like, this is so fucked up. Like, you
Oh
know.
my God.
I think those best moments do happen with the housewives in the reunions because it's so off the cuff. The editing isn't on their side. And it's like that again, that pressure cooker situation where things just go off. Like it's great. It's great viewing. I'll send you both the
Damn
clip.
it, I'm so
It's
mad
very,
at you
very good.
both.
And
I'm
now,
definitely going to start watching this show probably now, aren't I?
yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
Now,
how we get you.
We'll say what we say to every single guest we have is the one to start is Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake
Okay.
City.
Oh, see, this is
Yeah.
what's wrong with my brain. Immediately, I'm like, oh, like the musical Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
Yes.
Well, there's references. So it's
Okay,
so
I'm in.
fucked up,
I'm in.
Georgia. It's like there's
Yeah.
excommunicated Mormons, and you can skip this bit, listeners, because we do it every single time. There's excommunicated Mormons, there's Jewish characters, there's one character who's a Pentecostal preacher who married her step-grandfather
Oh my God.
in an inherited situation.
Oh my God.
We've got Jen Shah. You've got an FBI raid on the television show
I've
that
seen
happened.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So that's the season,
Okay.
and there's a brand new season on at the moment that we're loving. But it's not that there's not that many seasons, so you can start from the start and catch up pretty easily.
Actually, on that, Jen Shah, have you seen that headline that Jen Shah and Elizabeth Holmes are now best friends in jail?
Yes. I'm also obsessed with Olivia Holmes. Obsessed. How good. Let's get Anna Delvey in with them too.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with what she just did in New York Fashion Week with the house arrest fashion show. Did you guys see that?
No.
So she couldn't go to fashion show, so they Kelly Catone, is that her name, from the hill? Catone from the city in the hills. Her and Anna put on a fashion show at Anna's house, so with Anna with like an ankle bracelet on the rooftop of the building that she's staying at. It's just so good. It's so good.
How
like,
good is
so
it as
American.
well that like we're in an era where going to jail, like being a criminal, can just make you famous, not infamous?
Yes.
Like, what a world.
Yeah,
what a time to be
yes.
alive. Like, look at Chappelle Corby is like on reality TV and stuff. I'm killing it, man.
She just had a baby, didn't she? Yeah. What's your feeling? Because like I think a lot of the feedback from New York Fashion Week was that, because I don't know whether to do with the SAG strike, it was filled with influencers, and there was so much feedback and backlash to that. And did you see that there was like a confrontation that was all over TikTok with that door person?
Oh, yes. There's a Canadian influencer trying to get into an after party, and the doorman, who's like a renowned doorman in New York, being like, no, and just yelling at her. And everyone's kind of going like, yeah, like these influencers don't know how it works here.
The thing is,
what's your thoughts on that, G? Because I know you just recently wrote about it. Yeah.
The thing is, it is how it works now. And it's like no one likes it, and it feels icky and weird. But brands are all putting their entire marketing budgets into influencers because they're going, okay, why would I do a billboard over a freeway that gets thousands of cars going under every day, but we don't know where those people are coming from and their age and their demographic? Or we can put that same money into a person who's got 1 million followers who are all engaging with them and buy products that they specifically use. Why wouldn't you do that? And we've got this thing where we just hate influencers because so many of them are just so entitled and wanky. But like, that is the way the world's going. And I think it's a pendulum thing. I think it will settle a bit. But I'm not surprised that Fashion Week was full of influencers, because they're the people, like, you've seen Maggie on TikTok a fight with an influencer in New York Fashion Week. Would you have seen, I don't know, like Jennifer Aniston's shots from New York Fashion Week? Like, it just, I feel like the world is in that way so much, because that's how people are getting their information. They're scrolling through TikTok. No one's sitting down and watching the news or like looking up a newspaper website. They're just scrolling. And the people who invite people to these kind of events know that they want someone who's going to go viral, because then their stuff gets out there. There's a reason the Jenners and the Kardashians are at everything, and they're huge celebrities that they are, versus when it used to be movie stars. because the movie stars aren't putting themselves out there as much and are seen as someone different and untouchable, whereas these people being themselves, which I say very much in inverted commas for most influencers, or a lot of them at least, they've got direct engagement with their audiences. So I don't like it, but it makes sense, and you kind of feel like you can't really be mad at brands for that.
It kind of leads us nicely back to this episode of
Well,
Housewives.
we all
just
keep forgetting that
because
that's what we're meant to be talking about.
Welcome
well,
to the
no,
podcast.
just because I feel like this is the proto-influencer, right? We're kind of watching the moment from when socialites turn into influencers, and like you were saying, it's the really early moments of social media, 2009, and the way they get sprung is because they've posted photos of them and Joe Biden up on their Facebook page, like, and it's so interesting that that desire always to show off perhaps, or like display a certain kind of lifestyle was there, and then the technology finally kept like met up with that desire, or that, you know, whatever, and now it is like you're saying, like surpassing traditional like thoughts of like who deserves to be here and how does this thing get communicated. I don't know, in a way, should we thank this couple? No, I'm joking.
Whoa.
No, but you're right. It's almost like
Whoa.
it's interesting because a lot of like in the Real Housewives of New York, the recent season, Georgia, there is a quite a high up influencer called Sai, and she, I feel in that defends herself a lot for being an influencer. There's a lot of things saying, you know, I do this for money and stuff, but when you really think about it, reality stars are influencers. They go hand in hand with what it's someone following someone's personality, and that person trying to collect followers and create a personality around a brand so they can make money off that. They're the same thing, influencers and reality TV. It's weird when people say reality TV stars are now seeping into being an influencer, where I think they're almost exactly the same, especially on Bravo, which actually leads us to one point that we do with all our guests. We'd love to do with you, G, is that say we're at on the Real Housewives, pretty much every episode, but the congressional hearing episodes, one of the housewives will launch a new product, and it will be at some kind of event. So we want to know, what product would you launch, and what would the event be?
Yeah, a theme or a location or something.
I know, but the thing is funny about this, Jen, as well, is that Georgia has launched products at events. Like, I think she's our first guest that's actually done all this stuff.
Has done it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dream. This is just work for her, really.
No, but I feel uncomfortable because now people will be like, "Oh, she's an influencer." No, I'm a.
No, you're not. You're a businesswoman. You have your pajama line.
Oh, gross. Yeah, so I do have a pajama line, but that's what I did with actual money, not in my dream life. So I suppose
this is never-ending budget. You've married into someone who created some software. They've sold it now and retired, and you just want a little bit of exposure and creativity.
Yeah. And I would say the lower stakes, the better. So, like, for example, mine would be a designer pet litter brand.
Ooh.
Like, just something that is so...
And
yeah.
Mine is a children's wear brand called Childless, where it's now modeled by adults.
Okay, actually, though, that's really good. Rebecca Valance has, like, whenever I'm on her website, I'm always looking through, and I, like, scroll through quite quickly, and I always go, "Oh, that's cute," and I stop and I realise it's the kids' range. Okay.
Love it. So we've got sparks there.
I think mine would have to be a new Broadway musical on Broadway. And it would have to be at the Richard Rogers Theatre, because that's where Hamilton has been running for 7 years. And so I would like my musical to be the one that takes over from Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda would be there, cutting the ribbon. And the musical would be about we're talking Dreamworld, aren't we? Yes. Yeah. Okay, then yes.
You're a rich housewife. You can, but no one needs to buy tickets, remember.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Usually no one buys the product.
Pamela Anderson was in Chicago on Broadway, so I feel like I can do anything. All right.
Dream is a
Many
dream.
housewives have been in Chicago.
Okay. All right. This is it. I'm going to manifest this now. All right. It's a Chicago-esque type musical with lots of dancing, lots of Bob Fosse. But it's about it's like a dirty love story.
So could it be like, say you know how you go onto music and you can get free versions of music that sound just a little bit different to the real one?
Sounded like copyright freeze.
So it could be like Chicago copyright. So
oh my God,
instead of Cell Block Tango, it's small cell.
Yeah, it's in the style of Chicago, but it's called Potomac.
Perfect. There you go.
And that's why she's the best.
And you know, we're all gonna go watch it and then talk about it afterwards, how terrible it was. But you know,
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, guys.
No, but there is a character on Real Housewives of Atlanta called Candy Burgess, I think. And she actually is a singer-songwriter that wrote No Scrubs for TLC.
Whoa.
That's like her thing. But she's done heaps of she's like a mogul now down there. And she's gunning for the Tony. She wants the what's the EGOT?
Yep.
She's going for the EGOT. So she's investing in every Tony Festival Tony Award winning play on Broadway at the moment.
To win like a producer award.
Yeah, because that's so. If you get like best musical or something like that, the producers all win a Tony as well. So you know, it's the dream is not dead.
Oh no, I didn't say.
I think it's a great idea.
I literally just made it up. It's quite young. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick some pictures up on my mood board.
Pop it on your mood board.
Yeah. You're manifesting.
Yeah, I don't have a mood board, by the way.
A mood board.
I've really made myself sound like a wanker, and people might have believed I had a mood board. Just for the record,
I've got a mood board.
Oh, that's all good.
I've got a mood board.
Ooh.
On that note, Georgia, it is
you're getting booted off. You're done.
No, we got to wrap it up. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. You've been an absolute delight, and it's so interesting having like a reality TV podcast and talking to someone who's been there and who is on the other side of the camera and who knows their news.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't actually we didn't even say their names, Tarek and Mikhail. Look, I've done my research.
There it is.
Which two damn episodes.
Put an exclamation mark. The other stuff's more interesting, but if you are interested in seeing those episodes, do yourself a favor and go back and watch them because they are incredible TV. It's not great Housewives. It's just a really good mapping of a huge incident that reality TV caused the states.
I can't think of anything else that has been like from a TV show that's been such a massive news story that's genuinely affected the news cycle, not just a story about the show. I can't think of anything else like that.
No, and it's like a national security threat as well. So it's not just like someone doing
political.
Something. It's not Scandival. It's like
actually, Lee and I were on the front page of the Sydney Morning Herald with a headline about national security, well, not national security threat, because when we filmed the finale overseas, and then we were like, they were flying us, flew us into Lee flew into, I don't know, something like Brisbane and then drove down to Newcastle and flew to Sydney and all these weird routes because they thought that maybe weird routes sounds like I was talking about myself because it was after finale because they didn't want Pats to find out who had won. So obviously flew from overseas with his passport, but all the internal flights they had booked for him on Jetstar and stuff and just put a fake name in. Now, we were being interviewed the day after the finale, and they were like, oh, how did you keep it a secret? Rah, rah, rah. And Lee said that. He's like, oh, well, they booked us our flights under fake names. Then the next day, Sydney Morning Herald was like, Bachelorette couple breach national security rules. Ooh. Yeah, because
I was wondering that when you just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they mustn't have just asked his name at all. He just would have gotten the passport straight on, right?
He just had a hand luggage and just walked on.
That happened to me once. Ben didn't know how to spell Margaret. He spelled it Margaret and they wouldn't let me on the flight.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful name.
Margaret.
Margaret.
All right, G. Well, thank you so much again. It's just come back anytime. This has been so good.
Thank you. If I come back next time, let's talk about Housewives. I'll be obsessed by
Nah,
then.
don't
I'll
worry
talk
about
about
it.
Salt Lake. I'm going to watch them all in the next 2 days. We all know that's the truth.
Smash it out. Yeah, I think you will love Salt Lake. We haven't met anyone who hasn't liked
Okay.
Salt Lake. There's too much that happens that, especially knowing Jen Shah is now in jail, makes it way more fun to watch.
Sold.
Because
Yeah.
you can pick it all apart. You can pick it all apart.
Sold.
Oh, Georgia, is there anything you would like to plug?
I've got a podcast as well, but don't worry, it won't take listeners away from this. It's very different. You can listen to mine after you've listened to this one. It's called Everyone Has an Ex, and it's kind of documentary style, and every episode is a different story about somebody's ex. So that is everything from like a really horrible breakup to really nasty cheating stories. Someone's ex is now in jail for attempted murder. Someone's ex was murdered. All really different, unique looks into relationships past. It's really voyeuristic and juicy.
Ooh.
And you'll laugh and you'll cry and you'll get to hear my voice a bit more. That
I
might
love
turn
it.
people off.
Definitely.
That sounds so good. I'm dating my ex. I got back with my ex. Is that in your
Oh,
show?
I want a story no, I want a story like that on the show though. All right,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you after.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Look, if you enjoy this podcast, please tell your friends, share online, leave us a little review wherever you listen to your podcast. It really helps. And thanks again, Georgia, for joining us.
Thank you.
Yay.
High five.